Master of Wine is an individual who has passed a rigorous 3-part multi-year exam that tests the candidate's knowledge of breadth and depth in the art, the science, the business of wine, all parts of the wine world. So understanding agriculture and soil science to the chemistry of lab analysis in winemaking to supply chain logistics and what will help a bulk wine make it from one end of the world to another without issue, and what happens when there are issues, and then what are the trends, what are the business implications of wines for people who are making very luxury wine like Petrus, to people who are making a wine that sells by the hundreds and thousands of cases. What are those decisions? How are those decisions going to and parameters going to impact the choices even made in the soil?
Understood.
To every part of the business. And what are the trends of business? What do societies think about this? Wellness trends and health, and how does alcohol fit into that, or does it? All those questions. So it's very fascinating. You can't just say, I want to deal with these types of wines. You need to know two buck chuck to your Petrus, right? And you need to understand how those are made and what business decisions drive those and what nature decisions drive those. Because in some parts of the world, you can't grow grapes the same way you would grow in other parts of the world. And how do they deal with that? Why are they making those decisions? So it really, there is no textbook for this. There can never be. And it's always changing.
So I was about to ask you, do curriculums change every year? You said 3-year program.
It's multi-year. 3-year is the bare minimum of what you can get through, and most people take way longer. Okay. Because it's hard.
Yeah,
it really
I can
is.
imagine. I mean, so walk us through the program. What does it include? How it starts, what are the fees? How can one apply, please?
Okay, so there is an application process, and it was I thought it was somewhat akin to applying for a graduate program. You have to have your recommendations. You write. You have your CV. You have your essays that you have to write. Your essay of intent. You have to take entrance exams. Those are all highly monitored, and so yes. Yes, and so you submit those, and along with obviously they want to know your what you can contribute to the industry and why you're doing it, because this is not a path for everyone, and that's okay. And I think that is something that everyone should understand. Just like the Court of Master Sommeliers or any path that one chooses, you can reach success in your industry and your career path through good old street cred. You can do, it's the things that you do. You don't have to have something like this, but for some people,
absolutely,
that's the way that they want to do it, and this is the way that I wanted to do it. And throughout the process, I tell you, even I doubted that. Yeah, because it was so difficult.
I'm sure there will be self doubts. You would want to quit. It's so much studying. Did you pass in all one go? How did it go?
It was very difficult. So I actually did it in four years, which is considered extremely fast.
So what do you mean 4 years? Are there different exams and you just take your time to pass, or it's just one grand final exam and you apply for that?
Yes. So there are 3 stages of the exam, and the stage 1 is typically done in the first year. So after you get accepted into the program, if you're accepted, and during my year of acceptance, there was less than 40% acceptance rate for the new recruits. So
sorry to interrupt. Are there limits in how many they take, or
it's based on who they see in the candidates? They don't have there's no quota.
Okay,
good question.
Because it's a study from home sort of.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, but but throughout each year there are seminars. There's an annual seminar in different parts of the world. Like say there's one in, thankfully for those of us here in California, there's one in Napa or San Francisco, and then there's one in Australasia, somewhere maybe in Adelaide. And then there's one usually in London or in Bordeaux, in Rust, Austria. It changes throughout the years based on availability, but then students from all over the world can go to their seminars. And then there's also course days twice a year, which is basically local, and there are tutorial sessions like 2 or 3 days in a row.